If you don't fix what I'm about to talk about in this video, you will probably die a lot earlier than you thought. So death is actually just too much pain in the body. This is the Ayurvedic perspective. When we experience too much pain, then we want to leave the body. Right? So if we don't keep our health nice, we will die sooner. And so in this video, I will talk about why that is happening and how to increase your lifespan according to Ayurveda. So, death. I'm gonna do it like this. Now I'm gonna cool. Yes, hello?
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
This question.
Question, answer, yes?
So Sydney, she said that she remembers in the book that in order to eat another meal, you don't have to poo.
It's better. So, death. What actually is death? This is one of the most enigmatic problems that people don't know the answer to. But still, death is the most important thing in our life, basically, because at death, everything gets taken away, right? Everything you work for your whole life, your family, your home, your wealth, whatever, it's all destroyed at death. So death is a very important thing. If we can understand what death actually is, then we can reverse engineer it and prolong our life. So according to Ayurveda, death is pain. That's it. Death is pain. Crazy stuff, guys. But I'll explain it very simply. So, when something is, let's start with a little less extreme version of death. Let's go uncomfort. When something is uncomfortable, or discomfort, I think is the singular version, right? Wow, that's just so wrong spelling. I cannot believe. Also, you should take sufficient rest, guys. Otherwise, your brain doesn't work properly. All right. Uncomfortable. Such a big word. All right. If you're uncomfortable, you want to leave that situation, whatever the situation is. So let's say you're in an awkward social situation. Awkward social situation. Like, I don't know, like, let's say, what's a very awkward social situation? Like you just farted at your wife's family's dinner, right? So that's very embarrassing. Very awkward situation. It makes you uncomfortable. What do you want to do when you're uncomfortable? Now, if you're really tough, you're probably just going to smile and laugh it off. That's the cool guy thing to do. But for most people, you're probably going to want to leave. So uncomfort means you want to leave the situation. You want to get out of there, right? Get out. Now, we can take this a little bit further, right? If we have some painful situation, not just uncomfort, but pain. Pain is like the next level. It's the plus version of uncomfort. So if we have a painful situation, we really want to leave that situation usually, right? And if it's very, very, very painful, then we actually might even faint, right? So our consciousness turns off or leaves our present waking state of existence just so we don't have to experience that pain. That's fainting. People, they pass out, all right? You might know that as passing out. So if it's very painful, we pass out. Again, so what is that? That is, where's my leave? Okay, leaving. Again, leaving. Do you see where I'm going with this? Pretty cool stuff, guys. Ayurveda is very intuitive, very easy to understand. So I think you can see where I'm going with this, right? If you have an uncomfortable, painful situation, You got to leave that gig. So, now, let's take it all the way then, right? Let me pull up my notes right here so I don't get off track. Now, right, okay, so if you're old, right? If you have old age, my pen's running out here. He's also dying. He's getting old. So, old age. What happens at old age? We start experiencing more pain, right? So that means there's so many also ways that we're suffering. It could be mental pain because you see the world change around you. You don't like the way it's changing. All your friends die. Your family grows up. They move on. They neglect you. So we might have mental pain. That's another kind of form of pain, right? And we also might have, or we definitely will have physical pain. So when you get old, the body becomes less able to fight off diseases, it becomes weaker. And so we also have bodily pain. Man, this board is moving around. Okay, so we might have old age means more pain, mental pain, bodily pain. Pain in general. Now you see where I'm going. Now, if uncomfort and pain cause us to leave, and the older we get, the more pain we have, death is just... Wow, look at that spelling. You see that catch also? That won't be happening when I'm old because, sense perception gets a little less fine. Death means too much pain. Too much pain. This is death. When your body becomes so old, your mind becomes too much disturbed, your bodily pain is too much, you just don't want to be in your body anymore, and you leave. Consciousness leaves the body, just like it leaves when we faint. Just like you might take your physical body out of a situation when you are in an awkward social situation or in a confrontation. And you also might, if someone's, getting angry at you or berating, what's an easy way? If someone's, giving you a hard time, giving you a long lecture, you also might go mentally absent, right? So it's leaving. Your consciousness goes somewhere else. So death, because death is super duper painful, guys. Very painful. When you die, all kinds of stuff is going on. Your whole body is failing. And depending on how you die, it might be super painful, like if you're getting burned or something. So, when people die of a fever, for example, their body literally becomes so hot, their blood is boiling. It gets to 107 or whatever, right? So that's very painful. It's so painful that you just cannot tolerate being in the body. The consciousness cannot tolerate being in the body. Okay, so now we can reverse engineer this and explain how through Ayurvedic digestive principles we can extend our life. Guys, you can learn how to live longer. Why is living longer good? Because that's how we're enjoying. We're enjoying through existence, through living, right? So if you can live longer, you can enjoy more, you can achieve the things you want to do. And so therefore, what causes pain, according to Ayurveda? Disease. What causes disease? We're going to do a little map here. So, what's the original cause of disease? Poor digestion. Poor digestion, guys. If you don't digest your food in a proper way, then it leads to toxins. So that goes to toxins. Then that becomes disease. Because your body's all the blood vessels and all the organs and everything, they become gunked up by the toxins. So that leads us to diseases. Then diseases, let me do a little thing like this, diseases. That becomes pain. And then pain accumulates and we get death. And so, reverse engineering this, what do we have? Death is related to poor digestion. Very simple. So then, naturally, we should try to fix our digestion if we want to, decrease death. You can't decrease death, but if we want to delay death, that's the word, delay death, we have to increase our digestive health, improve our digestive health. And that's not to be speculated on also, that's from the Ayurveda. Not all this, there's so many trends and new diets and fads and speculations about digestion. No, if we take it from the Ayurveda, then we're going to get the real knowledge about how to improve digestion, and we'll really be able to have results that improve our health, that decrease our digestive, bodily, mental pain, and delay death. So, we're cheating death, guys. We're literally, you're on this YouTube channel, you're learning how to cheat death. Can you show me another YouTube channel that's teaching you this through digestion? I don't think so. All right, so pretty valuable stuff, I would say. That's just me. So, how can we fix our digestion in a way that's conducive to delaying death? So I'm going to do a bunch of videos about this topic, about how to improve digestion. So I'm not going to go super deep into it here. Mostly I wanted to talk about how digestive health is related to delaying death. But basically, if you learn the basic Ayurvedic rules about eating, basic Ayurveda, you delay death. Because why? Because all of the diseases, practically speaking, come from poor gut health, poor immunity, which is related to gut health. Now you can't, don't get me wrong, don't get it twisted. You cannot cheat death entirely. You cannot become invincible. Don't let that guy on the internet, on YouTube, who's trying to cheat death fool you. It's not possible. Because the nature of matter is that it degrades, right? If you put an apple on a desk, now we're not apples, but you can understand the point, the apple will degrade over time. You cannot stop it. It's just the way the nature works. Everything degrades in this universe, right? So our body is part of this universe. Therefore, it also degrades with time. And as it degrades, it becomes less and less fit, it becomes less and less strong, and eventually it's overcome by nature, and then we suffer because it's degrading, and we experience more pain, and therefore we have death. So you can't avoid death completely, but you can delay it by reverse engineering, understanding that death is caused by pain, and by reducing that pain. Now, there are two kinds of pain. There's internal pain, right? Internal pain. I'm gonna write faster because I know I'm losing you guys here. And external pain. External pain. So, internal pain, we actually have quite a lot of control over. Again, internal pain is related to basic Ayurveda. If we can fix our digestion, if we can fix our eating habits, if we can understand the causes of various diseases, we can do quite a lot to control our internal pain. External pain is a bit more difficult because external pain is caused by things that are usually out of our control, like other people, like nature. And so, unless you can learn how to control the weather, it's going to be very difficult to stop external pain. And sometimes, that's just meant to happen to us because that's our karma. So you can't really avoid external pain. Internal pain, you have a lot of control over. So what we got to focus on, and what we're going to focus on this channel, is how to control the internal pain. Because, even if we control this one absolutely perfectly, I'm trying to do a tick, I guess that represents perfection, something, don't know how to symbolize that. Even if we control internal pain perfectly, we will not be able to stop death, because death will eventually come by external pain, right? external forces will eventually cause us to die. Because the body cannot last forever. When the body, its immune systems degrade, as is everything material will eventually degrade. When the mind itself degrades, the susceptibility for disease just increases. You can't stop it. It's just the force of time. And then so death comes. But we want to delay it as far as possible so we can maximize. So we have to focus on this bad boy right here, basic Ayurveda. And that's what this channel is about. And that's why I invite you to please like and subscribe to this channel so you can literally delay this bad boy. I'm not joking. Does it make sense? Right? Death is because of pain, internal and external. We can control internal pain through understanding basic Ayurveda. Therefore, basic Ayurveda delays death. Therefore, you should subscribe to this channel.